Hey everyone, Shaun Stevenson here, author of the Throne series, and I've got an Oz book review for you today. I got a little bit of a rant to go on though. So this review is going to have some spoilers in it, so I'm telling you right up front here, I'm going to have the first half of this review is not going to have any spoilers, and the second half of this review will have spoilers. So I will definitely let you know when the spoilers are coming in. So if you kind of want to get a basic feel at the very beginning of this review, you can, and then I will tell you when the spoilers are coming, because I feel like I can't talk about this book without talking about some spoilers, because I'm just going to give you the heads up here. I did not really enjoy this Oz book. It is very rare that there is an Oz book that I do not like, even outside of the original authors like L. Frank Baum, Ruth Plumly Thompson, John R. Neal, and Jack Snow. I've read a lot of the other Oz books outside the canon of Oz, inside the canon of Oz, and this is the first one that I can truly say I did not really like it. So, which one am I talking about? I'm talking about Roger S. Baum's The Green Star of Oz, a special Oz story. So, let me talk first about this book in general. This is a beautiful book. It is so beautiful. It's a nice hardback. It's got that embossed gold on the side. There are full color illustrations in it. This copy actually happens to be signed by the author, Roger S. Baum, who is related to L. Frank Baum. So you have a lot of fun stuff in here, like just these beautiful color illustrations on glossy paper. The book itself is beautiful. This book is written by Roger S. Baum, who also wrote Dorothy of Oz. Now, Roger S. Baum is one of the Oz authors of later Oz books in the 90s and so on, and he often kind of ignores like Ruth Plumly Thompson's characters and Jack Snow's characters and John R. Neal's characters. He really sticks to the L. Frank Baum characters, and especially ones from the first few books in L. Frank Baum's 14 books. So you will not find a lot of characters like the Glass Cat here. You're not going to find those characters really. You do have some other characters showing up here who are from Dorothy of Oz, which I thought was kind of fun, and that was a great addition to it. You also have some very inventive new Oz characters that he comes up with that I thought were really great and just typical good Oz fun, really playing on the word puns, and I thought they were really well done. So there's a couple of really great things here. The basic storyline of this one is it starts off with L. Frank Baum himself talking to his great-grandkids and telling them an Oz story. And the story he's telling them is about Dorothy and Toto. And Toto has gotten mysteriously sick. And Dorothy sets out on an adventure to try and figure out what's going on with Toto and can I rescue him? Maybe he's under a spell because nothing seems to be working. So Dorothy sets off on this adventure to try to save Toto. And that's all I'm going to say about the plot. I'll talk about it more in a spoiler section here, but for now, that's all I'm going to say about it. This book was really interesting. It was short. It was quick to read. I took about maybe an hour to read the whole thing, if even that. It was a very fast read. It's less than about 100 pages, and there's little text on a page, and you have a lot of chapter breaks and a lot of big, colorful pictures, as you saw. So this one, you have some good moments here and there, but overall, it does not work. The plot of this book does not end up working, and it ends up leaving you a little confused. Because the whole time I was wondering, like, wait, why is this here? Why is that there? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So, I'm going to dive into the spoilers now. So if you don't want any spoilers, check out of this video now. This is your warning. Do not keep watching if you do not want spoilers. I will just say the only reasons I would say to read this is if you are like me, a diehard Oz fan who loves everything Oz and wants to read all the different books that are out there that have ever been written. That's the kind of person who should read this. And even still, you're going to struggle with this book. I'm just going to tell you. If you are a casual Oz fan or you've never read Oz, don't read this book. If you've never read Oz, go read The Wizard of Oz. What are you waiting for? Those books are great. If you're a casual Oz fan, just keep reading in The Famous 40 and Ruth Plumly Thompson and all those books. You will enjoy those so much more than this. All right, Spoilers are coming. Last warning. Get out now if you do not want spoilers. Here we go. This book makes no sense. The plot makes no sense. Let me give you a basic of what's going on here. L. Frank Baum is telling this story, and all of a sudden there's a green star that appears, which is never explained. We do not know what the green star is. We're not told what the green star is. I actually looked to see, is the green star in something else? I looked through other Oz books to try and figure it out. Cannot figure it out. I do not know if this green star has ever appeared anywhere else. In all the books I have, I could not find it. So L. Frank Baum and Maud Baum, his wife, and these great-grandkids are all kind of sucked up by the green star, and they are actually floating and watching the story unfold. Now, something that I think is canon breaking here is L. Frank Baum, and this is not actually considered a canon book. Even though it's written by a Baum, it's not considered part of the canon. But a canon-breaking moment here is that L. Frank Baum, the character in the book, does not know that Oz is a real place. So he, in all the previous Oz books, in L. Frank Baum's books and Ruth Plumly Thompson's books, they all are writing them as if Oz is real. And they're being told these stories from Oz as the royal Oz historians. So these characters in the book are actually real, according to L. Frank Baum and Ruth Plumly Thompson. But in this book, L. Frank Baum says it's all made up and it's all fake. And so I thought that's a canon-breaking moment because you don't have that in other Oz books. Then, this Toto storyline, where Toto's sick, we never know why. We are never told why Toto was sick. We don't find out what happens with that. There's nothing said about it. Zero. Absolutely zero. So L. Frank Baum, he is floating around, kind of observing what's happening, and then Dorothy, as she's on this journey to try and find what's going on with Toto, which she never does and we never do, she falls into the River of Flowers. And when she falls into the River of Flowers with Toto, they both vanish. They become immaterial. They vanish, they can't be seen, they can't hold anything, they can't touch anything, they are totally unable to interact with the world around them, which I gotta say, they don't fall through the ground, which if they really can't interact with the world around them, why don't they fall through the ground if they just pass through everything else? Just a little nitpick, but that's neither here nor there. Because everyone actually forgets about them too, and anything that Dorothy and Toto have done comes undone. So the witches come back to life, the Wicked Witch of the West, the Wicked Witch of the East are both back to life. Scarecrow, Tin Man, Cowardly Lion are all still in they're back where they were. Like the Tin Man still rusted where he was. Cowardly Lion still in the forest. He's crying and afraid of mice. You have the Scarecrow still on the beanpole. He's still stuck there. And Dorothy's house never fell in Oz. However, so while all these things have happened, no one remembers Dorothy except for Glinda. For some unknown reason, it's not explained why Glinda is aware of Dorothy and no one else is. However, you still have the wizard in the Emerald City being the current version of the wizard, where he's practicing magic and he's doing the things he's doing, not with the giant head and all that kind of stuff. You also have the Patchwork Girl in the Emerald City still. And I was wondering, there's no way that the Patchwork Girl would be in the Emerald City if Dorothy had never done all the things she had done. So this is very confusing. Now, Toto is mysteriously healed when he falls in the River of Flowers, and we never find out anything about his sickness. There's nothing about it, just nothing. And then at the very end of the book, you have L. Frank Baum himself meeting Dorothy. And L. Frank Baum comes and writes them back into existence, and they go back into their lives, and everything's back to how it was. Which, I'm not gonna lie, that's a Deus Ex Machina situation where all of a sudden this person comes out of the woodwork and just saves the day randomly. And again, we're never told what happened. We don't even know why Dorothy became immaterial when she fell in the River of Flowers. We just don't know. We are never told. And L. Frank Baum, when he shows up at the end, it appears that he dies at the very end of the story because he goes and he says, like, now we can cross over the shifting sands, which is supposedly what he told his wife in real life, the last thing he said before he died. So This book is a mess. It's a real mess. It's kind of like someone had this idea like, oh, what if L. Frank Baum went to Oz and what would happen? Which is a great idea and that would be a really fascinating story, but this is not that story. There are too many other things going on. I kept thinking, did Dorothy and Toto die? Is that what this is about? Is Toto's sickness just like any random sickness in real life that comes upon a person? I just don't know because there are no answers. Now, as far as writing-wise goes, this book is not badly written. It was very readable and even enjoyable because up until the end, when there are no answers given, I kept wondering, oh, what's this going to be? What's going on? Like, is there someone else who's behind this? Like, what's happening? How are they going to get out of this? And then when there's no answers given and everything's just kind of made back to normal, I thought, nope, you can't do that. That's just not going to work for me. This is not going to work. And it doesn't work. So I'm very sad to say that the Green Star of Oz gets only a 2 out of 5 from me. This book did not make any sense. It was not a good storyline. You can't introduce things in a series where everything else is usually explained. Whenever in other parts of this series, even in Roger S. Baum's own other books that are written about Oz, he explains stuff and tells you what's going on, and you get those answers. But in this one, you don't get any answers. So this was a really tough book to read, and I was very bummed out about reading it. And I thought, oh, this is not the kind of Oz that I like to read. I like to read the adventures. I like the parts of this book when they are on an adventure and meeting some different characters that are really well thought up. But the rest of this plot, not for me. So, unfortunately, that's my review for The Green Star of Oz. And until next time, everybody, keep reading. Bye!